Okay, can everyone hear and see me okay? I'm just about to invite Dana into the chat here. Just want to know that if everything is good to go. Wolf Insight already commented. Looking forward to Dana Lee. Okay, awesome. Just sending Dana the link here. Okay. Awesome. Now we are just waiting on Dana, and as soon as he pops up, I will let him in, and we'll go from there. I'm finally on time. Perfect. Okay. First of all, for anyone in the chat here, did it say when the live was scheduled? Did it say that it was scheduled for 5 p.m. or 12 p.m.? Because I got mixed answers with that one. Tara says a lot of people working at this time, though. Yep, I understand that. Oh. So Dana Lee just saw the link, so I guess he's going to be here any second. Good afternoon from Toronto. Awesome. That's 12 p.m. Eastern, no? Yeah, it is. So I'm not sure what the 5 p.m. was. It must have been for a different time zone. Interesting. Oh. I see Dana. Oh, there he is. Ha. Hey, there he is. There's the man, the myth, the legend.
Not really.
So humble.
Just gonna make you a little larger here. There we are.
Okay. I'm surprised you're
Here we
not
are
in
in
your garb.
my little humble home.
Wow.
My garb is right behind me.
Of
Right
course.
there.
Oh my gosh. I love the fireplace.
Got the fire going. Otherwise you freeze to death out here.
Absolutely. How cold is it out there?
Today it's only minus 22. Not bad.
Only.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Just as I was entering the call, I spilt a drink. So I'm sorry. I'm just quickly taking care of that.
No problem. No
And
problem.
it's splashed onto my laptop, of course.
Oh no! I hope it didn't get ruined.
No, it's just surface splash. It's okay.
Just surface splash.
So, how are you doing, Red?
I'm doing fantastic, Dana. I mean, missing the convoy a little bit, not gonna lie. What about you?
Oh, mixed feelings on everything. I tell you, mixed feelings on everything.
Okay.
I love talk. I love. Oh, by the way, see that's the Constitution. This picture here.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay.
our rights and freedoms. That shirt was made for me. Anyways,
Wow.
uh, I have mixed feelings because I really never thought they'd come in and use violence like they did.
Yeah.
Uh, and I, I I never broke any laws in my life, and to be told that I've broken 3 laws now, standing in only peace, I just don't understand where they even get that.
So, what are these 3 laws that you supposedly broke?
Well, I'm not supposed to type it out, my lawyer said, but obstruction, and failing to adhere to a court order. But you see,
Interesting.
I never ever received a court order of any type telling me I can't be there. I was never served with any type of paper.
Okay.
Okay. I never seen it. I refused to read what these people, this garbage that people were passing amongst themselves, but I was never served. So and I was living in the shed and stuff. I don't watch mainstream news. They didn't put an alert out on our phones or anything
Yeah.
saying you can't be here. They'll put an alert out for missing children and stuff, but if there's the first time the Emergency Act is used, this version of it, and they don't put out an emergency thing to everybody's phone, it seems it was all posturing.
That's what a lot of people are saying. And I remember that towards the end of the convoy, they handed out these pieces of papers with like, oh, you're going to be arrested if you're in the red zone or whatever, but it wasn't signed by anybody. So maybe they're going to cite that as the court order, but it didn't seem legitimate at the time.
I never got handed one of those. I seen people handing that garbage between each other, but I never got served with one of those. I was never notified.
Interesting how that works. So
Now, CTV and CBC were both filming me. A police officer tried to hand me a piece of garbage, and I said, I don't want your garbage. And they were filming this, and I said, I don't want your garbage. Keep your trash to yourself. Please put it in the trash bag. And he tried to hand it to me 3 times, and 3 times I said, well, no, it's not a ticket. It's nothing legal, is it? No, it's not a legal document. And they filmed that.
so that's interesting because
So
you caught him saying it's not a legal document then.
exactly. The police said that. They said it's not a violation. It's nothing like that, correct? Nothing I should be worried about. And he says, well, you just read it. It's not a legal document. And anyways, and then the CTV guy moves his camera a little bit, leans in on me and says, are you prepared to be arrested?
Oh my God.
And he gets back into his camera, and I said, are you not CTV? Are you not supposed to be impartial? Why are you threatening me, CTV? And they, of course, that's not aired. It
No.
is recorded somewhere. I did not have my camera on, but I'll tell you, would I lie?
That would have been a good clip to post on YouTube or Facebook.
Oh, it is there. Somebody's got it.
Somebody's got it. So obviously you didn't anticipate it on ending this early, and you definitely didn't anticipate it on going down in this way, right?
Well, I expected communication
Yeah.
of some sort to any of the hierarchy of the convoy, even though really it was everybody on their own making their own decisions here. It was impromptu. People stepped into roles that they did not expect,
Right.
or maybe even have the skills for. But we had to do these roles to fight for our freedom and to fight for our fellow man,
Yeah.
you know. And I didn't know what my role was until I got there. I was ready. I was ready for anything. I actually came with my National Geographic bag, and
Absolutely.
and it was packed with rations, so I could eat for 3 weeks without, just in case anything
Whoa.
happened.
Yeah.
So I had rations. I had change of clothes. Uh, um, Heat blankets. So those metal heat blankets.
Yeah. So you were
Uh,
prepared. Wow.
yeah, flashlights, utensils, toothbrush, toothpaste, all of that stuff. I had everything I needed to be self-contained in a 4-foot block. That's the way I planned it.
Right.
I live very simply, as you can see. My place is pretty simple. There's nothing extravagant here, and except for maybe my electronics. Uh, but you know, I I just I was very upset because my father he had a heart attack this year during this COVID nonsense,
Wow.
and and I'm going to tell you how it happened and why it brought me to the convoy. Was because my father and mother have lived up here for more than 30 years, and they have supported this entire area. Every donation that you can think of, helping lots and lots of people, spending lots of money at businesses that are in the community. And
Yeah.
that one of those businesses is Canadian Tire. They spend an enormous amount at Canadian Tire. And after my dad and I, we like to cook together. So he said he wanted to go buy a wok. So I usually go with them every time that they go out, especially during this COVID nonsense. So I didn't go with them this day though. I was not feeling well, and I stayed at home. And it's an hour to the nearest city, which is Renfrew. So uh, uh, they went into town and they went into Canadian Tire, and they walked in. My dad wears a medical exemption for face mask. He can't wear it. He's had 5 heart attacks. He's a heart patient. He cannot have his airways blocked in any
Right.
way. So he wears an actual medical exemption written by the doctor, authenticated, all of that stuff. And by law, he has to wear it on his person.
Yeah.
So he walks into Canadian Tire, and nobody says anything. Him and mom do shopping and fill a shopping cart full in about 30 minutes. And he finally sees a wok, but it's up on the shelf. So he asks one of the guys, could you get this wok for me? And the guy gets up onto the ladder, he grabs the wok, and as he's looking down at my dad, he says, "You don't have a mask on." And my dad says, I don't have to wear one. And he shows his badge. And the guy says, no, 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 get away from me. Move back, please, 6 feet. So my dad
Oh,
moves back. my mother's 80 years old. Okay, my dad is 76. They're they're not fast moving people right now. They're good. Way to go, Dad. I love you. But you know, that is why I help my parents. So, anyways, they were surrounded by 3 employees after that and asked to leave the store. Now, my mother was wearing her mask and still went and paid for her stuff as Dad went out to the car. Well,
Oh,
Mom went and paid $300 worth of purchase and walks out of the store and goes to the car. And as soon as she entered the car, she seen my dad hunched over. And she just said, "Is it bad?" And he said, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah." And he was in pain. He was really having a hard time. Couldn't breathe, everything. All the signs of a heart attack. So my mother just squealed out of there, straight to the hospital just up the road, which was lucky. The hospital is literally 3 minutes up the road. So they got him in there. He had a heart attack and he was in the hospital for 12 days. He got a pacemaker and a defibrillator installed in his collarbone here. It's a machine about this big. He has to wear for the rest of his life now. Do you think it was fair that this man has gone through all of this life and has supported everybody around here to be surrounded and harassed like that? Do you think that is even legal
God,
with a medical exemption?
but that's the
So
thing.
what I
Some
did,
people they won't even like honor that at all. Like no mask, no service, period. Right?
exactly, and the laws mean nothing because there's nobody fighting those laws. I sent a letter to the Ministry of Health here,
Yeah.
and for Renfrew, because it says right on their paper that they give the business that medical exemptions must be respected. It actually says it right on their own freaking thing they put in the window. So, anyways, uh, they did not respond. They did not respond at all. The owner of Canadian Tire did respond, however, and he didn't respond kindly.
Really? Why
It
not?
was
Like
all.
what?
It was all about protecting his employees, but
Oh my gosh.
did not did not want to talk about the medical exemption law. And I don't have the money to do lawyers and stuff. I actually have to pay right now for to prove my innocence. You think what you heard in the convoy about all of these free lawyers if you get in trouble. I'm sorry to tell you, that's all crap. That's all BS. Every lawyer costs you money. There is a retainer. I had to, I love my lawyer, but she was she took a lot less than the other ones wanted,
Wow.
and I can't tell you who her other clients are, but she has some other very good clients. So, anyways, she is a true lawyer. She is helping people like we had expected, like we heard on stage, like everybody say, call this lawyer. This is the lawyer number if you get in any trouble at the convoy. And that is all BS. It's not free. And I understand. I mean, they need to make money and they need to pay fees and stuff to put paperwork in. But remember, I'm innocent. At this point, I'm still innocent. They have not proven guilt yet. I don't have to defend myself. I don't have to do any of that.
So they get
Unless
you
it's
just based on the fact that you have to pay all these fees.
well, absolutely. I'm on disability. I am a government employee, but there's something else going on in there, which I heard about from today.
Yeah.
arbitration is on the way. Anyways, um, I got sick, like I explained before, and I was not able to work a job anymore. I just can't do an everyday job anymore. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
But I deal with chronic pain, and that also I know it, mentally it's very exhausting. But in this case, from the Freedom Convoy, I used it as a superpower
Crazy.
because I can't move very much. I have two dislocated shoulders, okay? And I deal with it every day. If I move my shoulder too high, it clicks in and out of the dislocation and it hurts like hell. Uh, it hurts. So um, that's why when you see me standing, it was always like this. My elbow is always down.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd be standing there. I mean, I can reach up, and in the heat of the moment, I've done it. And I dislocated my shoulder one day while I was standing on top of Live from the Shed, and everybody was like piecing me, and I reached up and I put my arm straight up, and I pieced, and click, my shoulder dislocated, and I didn't want to grimace in front of everybody, and I didn't. I just kept smiling, and I turned around, and then I popped my shoulder back in, and it was excruciating.
Oh,
But just the people though is what kept me standing there. The hugs, the lovely things I seen, just amazingly lovely things I'd never seen before.
yeah.
Never seen people act this way before. When you can be in huge, huge crowds and people will excuse themselves to pass you, like it's so ridiculous that the government called it. Well, actually, I really believe it's the people of Ottawa that were complaining that lived in the core because some of the nights I traveled outside of the core and it was life as usual. Well, life as unusual in Ottawa, and the life was just going on. Everybody wearing masks, walking in the park alone, driving their car alone, wearing a mask, and I was like, oh yeah, well this is regular unusual. Anyways, but in the core, I'm really upset. I was born in Ottawa. I'm really upset with the people of Ottawa that think this was about them. You
Yeah.
live in the capital of Canada. Our government is going freaking nuts, okay? And insane, uh, uncoordinated, uh, just just incompetence all around on handling this. We have had um, emergency preparedness for 100 years with funding for those 100 years for pandemics specifically. Okay. And when this one hit, everything was different. They didn't use any of those plans. They superseded them. They instituted new plans by proxy that were not vetted, that were not proven to work. Like like the ridiculousness of putting 3 masks on. Well, today we have to wear 2 masks. Tomorrow we'll have to wear 3 masks. Like, are you
Yeah.
kidding me? These are not masks. These are muzzles. They're training you, people. Like, get out of here.
So I think I know the answer to this, but How would President have handled COVID?
How would the Peaceman handle COVID?
Yeah, that's right. If you were prime minister or president or whatever.
Oh, you're pushing me to say something because there's news that I can't tell you yet.
Well, let's just hear the PC version or the the PG-13 version.
Well, you said how would the Peaceman, the PM,
Mm-hmm.
you get that? Okay, how would
Yeah.
the PM handle the current COVID? First of all, we're not in the situation at the beginning of COVID anymore, so now we have to fix mistakes. We have to fix things
Well said.
and continue from this point forward. There's no reason to even look back other than to put him in jail. Okay, so right now, all I look at is the future. I can't keep going back to the past because that'll drive you insane. I do an insane amount of reading and stuff, and I write about this stuff, but I don't publish things yet. I have published on my Facebook a lot of predictions that did happen. All of them. Go back 2 years and look. It's crazy. Everything I said came true. And even to this, even the convoy, I said there will be an uprising and there will be a line at which they cross that people will just come together outside of the government and air those grievances with the government. And that party will be bigger than any political party. Well, I was freaking close there because the government underestimates just how many Canadians are supporting the freedom of choice. And even though that these QR codes and restrictions to get into restaurants are lifted today in Ontario, you still have to wear masks. And it's funny that the Health Canada put a note up and said if businesses still wanted to follow the QR code restrictions and then they have the right to do that on their property. And I think to myself, why are they giving legal advice to in writing on their page? Why are they giving legal advice to businesses to keep doing it? You know, it's all these little games, and the plan against it is still going forward. We did a lot of things in Ottawa, a lot more things than people might say it was a failure. It is definitely not a failure. Because we exposed them, first of all. The only tools that they used were violence, even before communication.
Interesting.
Right? Did they communicate? No, not at all. They only had the tool of violence. And that's not the way the Canadian government is supposed to operate. This is not the way I was raised in this country.
So were you hoping or at least predicting that Trudeau or one of his men were going to come out and talk to you guys first?
I seriously thought that the government would have to. Now, I knew I think I wrote that it will take 2 weeks, before they actually acknowledge the people of Canada that were showing up. But it depended on how much support, how many people showed up. And actually, in the 25 days that I was there, I went there on the 26th, and I went and checked out the 27th by myself. It was beautiful. There was nobody, and then the 28th hit, and From then on, there was constant support. Not only the people that could be there, but from the people at home. It was minus 35 the first 3 days. Okay.
Wow.
And it was damn cold. And that was without a wind chill. I don't even know what it was with the wind chill.
Wow.
Okay. And I got frostbite on my thumb. It's all gone here. And when I was standing in peace, it was just making it worse. And it was just constantly eating at me. I have no feeling in that. I have no feeling in that knuckle anymore.
Just saying that so nonchalantly. Yeah, I have no feeling in that. Wow. Taking it like a champ.
We use a lot of duct tape around here to heal ourselves. I think there's some on this shelf right up here. Yeah, right up here. There's some duct tape. That's your bandages around here.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
so
it's
in
crazy.
the end, yeah, go ahead.
No, you first, Dana. You first.
Well, in the end, it did not go down exactly as planned, but it went down even better.
Okay, how so?
Because we exposed them. This is going to be very, 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 very important in the future here. It's going to be very, very important. People don't realize how the very near past is going to change your major future. Okay? And what they did was inexcusable, un-Canadian, illegal, and brutal for peaceful people. None of these people had weapons. None of these people actually, I heard a story today on Live from the Shed where 3 YouTubers were talking, Zot and Dave from Live from the Shed and what's his name, 69.
Yeah, Travel Fund 69. Yeah.
Travel Fund 69. Sorry, dude. Anyways, what was it I was saying? It was funny. He said it was so polite that even when the police were coming in and stealing the gas, one guy started to get nasty with the police up to their face, and everybody pulled him back and said, no, 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 make way for them. Let them in. Let them steal the gas. It's okay. We're not going to do anything wrong. We don't even, and you see men with rifles and beanbag guns and all of this stuff and ties all over them. These ties looked ridiculous. You see, I seen 300 cops coming straight before me. And you know what I noticed most about it? Where all the ties hanging off of these freaking idiots.
The zip ties.
And yeah. And the army personnel that were pointed right at me. They weren't anywhere else but right towards me. They came and got me. And they charged me. And you know what? Dave was arrested with me. There's a picture on my Facebook of both me and Dave standing in cuffs. That CTV, I think, filmed that. Somebody sent me the picture because it was live on CTV or something.
Wow.
And Dave got to walk free with no charges, and they actually pinpointed me. They pinpointed many of the people that were arrested. I'd say half of them.
So why do you think that was? Was it just because they were better known throughout the convoy and like it was a strategic play?
They're sitting there using violence against peace. who wouldn't want to go and get that freaking peace guy out there so he doesn't spread that peace no more?
Aha.
Okay. You know what? On the 19th at 3 o'clock on a Friday, we had organized where I was going to stand on the flame at the front of Parliament buildings,
Yeah.
and we were going to have truckers all in the front row with servicemen and 1,000 supporters standing behind us, and we were going to stand 20 minutes with no flags up as we all stand under that one flag in the Peace Tower with one arm up in peace in silence. And we had reporters from all over the world getting ready to take this picture. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That night, they locked all the gates to the front of the Parliament building. That,
Oh.
like, the morning before, at 5 o'clock in the morning on the 19th, they locked the Parliament buildings because they knew of that plan. They heard about it. It was all over the place. So
So
they
was
did
that
not
when the
want that
fences came up?
iconic picture. They did
Yeah.
not want that iconic picture taken. So what I did was at 3 o'clock on Friday, I stood on stage and I asked the people to stand with me for a couple minutes in silence under one flag under the boom.
Yeah.
And there was probably 200 to 300 people in front of me. And that's exactly what happened. You didn't hear a sound. Ottawa went quiet all of a sudden, and everybody stood in peace. And I had my headgear on. You should see that footage.
Wow.
It is fantastic, but I haven't even reviewed. There's 100 hours of footage from my headgear that I was wearing.
100 hours. That's a lot. Wow.
Yeah. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get somebody to do it. I can't do it anymore, so I'm going to get somebody to put it in fast motion, and all you see is these people coming up and hugging me and taking pictures, hugging me and taking pictures, hugging, and it's just this crowd moves around me, and I'm still. One guy I think recorded me on YouTube. I didn't move for 43 minutes, not a flinch. People were watching his stream, and he timed me.
Wow.
Yeah, it
That's a
was pretty
long
funny.
time. No movement.
Yeah, yeah.
That's brilliant. So how did you come up with the idea to do the whole peace sign thing for like 10 hours straight? Was that just like off the cuff, like, oh, I think this is a good idea, or was it planned?
No, actually, I was doing it on Parliament Hill the first 2 days. There's pictures of me standing beside the statue right in front, right beside the stage. And I
Okay.
went up on stage once and I spoke, and you can actually find that the only place to find that video is on my Facebook, actually.
Okay.
Uh, that was the first time I spoke to the crowd. And I was standing on Parliament Hill the next day, and I could see, and this is day 2, so the 29th, and I could see all these jokers in front of the trucks, like I explained to you the first time you
Yes.
interviewed me on the street. All these
Anonymous
jokers
mask.
were the anonymous people and some other bad actors, actors as well. So I moved and I went in front of Lloyd's truck, and he uh, he started to take notice because I was after about the 5th day. I didn't even really speak to him that much until about the 3rd or 4th day. On the 5th day or something, he said, "Well, why don't you come in and get warm?" And so I started sitting in his truck for another 5 days or so during the day when I needed to warm up, because it was freaking cold that first week, like
It was.
really, really
Yeah.
brutally cold. And I was amazed at the people that were still showing up. It was like,
Yeah.
oh, but they cleared out quick. Some of them would be there 20 minutes, half hour. They were gone and they were moving, right? They're moving all over so that they could just do a walkthrough, see it, and leave. If it was warmer, it would have been a different story. I don't think it would have ended the way it did. It's
Really?
not ended. I don't think it would have progressed the way it did. I think it might have actually gotten worse. I think more provocateurs and stuff would have been out because it would have been warmer. And you know, for every certain a number of thousands of people, there's one psychopath in the group. Okay. So
Mm.
when you gather 600,000 people, you've got 500 psychopaths within that group. That's in any group. If you gather 600 politicians, there's a couple of psychopaths in there. Okay.
Ain't that the truth?
These are all facts, buddy. All facts.
So
So,
you think that the cold is a deterrent for BLM and Antifa and groups like that?
they can't handle it. I'll tell you one thing.
They can't handle it.
I'll tell you one thing. On the fourth day, it was nasty cold. And I was standing in peace, and there was a counter protester. There's pictures and video of this out there. There's a
Okay.
counter protester, and he's walking directly in front of me. And I just never flinching, not moving, nothing. But he was now stopping my hugs. People were not crossing him to come to hug me, you know?
Oh.
And that started to bother me a little bit. So as he came crossing one time, I leaned in, and this was an hour and a half after he got there, and it was cold, but he was standing there proud with his BS sign, his the honking sign.
Okay.
Your honking has to stop. Oh my God, I can't walk my puppy. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
uh, I leaned into him and I said, "You don't have the stamina." And then I just moved back and went right into my stance. And he was gone 20 minutes later. Never seen him again.
Psychological warfare. You don't have the stamina.
I did that with a few police officers too. I'll tell you, I got on the 18th, I was walking back to the shed one night from the hotel room. I went and I took a shower and I was deciding I'm going to go sleep in the shed because things are getting hairy.
Yeah.
So I'm on my way back to the shed and the cops have now blocked off the road 2 blocks up from the core. And they said, you can't pass. I said, but my property's over there. I'm just walking to get my property, you know. And I know they weren't letting anybody pass, and anybody that came up walking behind them and past them can't turn around and go back up. And they had a whole line of police officers doing this. So I said, okay, well, I guess we just stand. I said, I'm not breaking any laws right now. I haven't crossed any lines, correct? And he said, no, no. I said, well, good. Then I'm going to stand here and look you in the eye for the next 12 hours.
And you mean it too.
And
That's the scary part.
yeah, well, I don't know if he knew if I meant it until about 20 minutes into it. And I'm talking to him. I'm telling him, you know, like, how could you do this? Like, I actually made one of the woman officers cry. She left. She left the
Oh,
freaking line. I'm peaceful, but I'm very, very honest. And sometimes honesty and truth, people don't like it. So it affects them. And it affects me too when it doesn't happen to me. And when people lie and ruin my life, uh, I take great offense to it.
Yeah.
But still, there's always a peaceful way to do it. So what I did was I stood there, and after she left, about 15 minutes later, the other cops, there was nobody coming up the street, so they kind of dispersed a little bit. And he looked at me and he said, he turned sideways and he said, go. And he let me up onto the hill. And I just said, thank you, sir. And because 20 minutes I stood there staring him in the face, and he couldn't move his post because, and he was getting cold. He was getting cold. I got minus 50 gear on. That suit that I wear, minus 50 gear. Okay?
Oh,
I could sleep in a snowbank and be comfortable. The only thing that gets cold are the boots. So you have to do some tricks to keep your feet warm.
okay.
That's what these are for. You wrap your feet in these type of blankets,
I see.
and then you'll always be warm because your own body heat will keep it within the metal. Anyway,
Yeah, it holds everything in there.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, do you think this lady was crying because she was like scared, or she was just like disturbed that she's being forced to do this and she's actually on your side?
That's exactly it. Because the questions I was asking her, I took down her. Should we give their badge numbers and names?
Oh my
Because
gosh, you have them?
I took my phone right out and I said, "What's your badge number and name?" And what I did was I messaged myself.
Whoa.
Uh
That's
oh.
crazy.
Now here's the problem. I got to go back. Oh, oh, I got to go back 1,500 messages in because people sent me so many beautiful messages. Thank you, people. It was just, it's still coming in. I still get pictures of you standing with me, or just of me, or and beautiful comments every day, every day, every day. And I really appreciate it. And you know, we're not. This is a whole other subject, but I, I'm not done, and neither are a lot of other very, very intelligent minds in this country. We're not
Yeah.
done. Uh, Actually, it's just all like I said. The plan actually worked even better because they showed they are exposed now on doing the wrong things again, and
Okay.
un-Canadian actions. So you know what's going to happen is that there's some plans in the works right now, and it won't take long for them to be enacted. There was a hint of it on Live from the Shed yesterday.
Okay.
There's some talk of a tour around Canada for a reason. So you'll know when it starts because I'll contact you or whatever. Check in with me,
Sure.
and you know we this was only the first step. You asked me what would have Peaceman done for COVID. Well, I'll tell you, it starts now. It doesn't start back at the beginning because we have to fix things now. We have to fix the laws that they've been changing behind our backs, like C-14 and several, a whole bunch of crap that they're trying to do for this. I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist or anything because that's what everybody will label you as, but there's a global agenda definitely going on from all of this. And there are people fighting against it that are being demonized. So just like, the crazy Trump, He's a business guy. He was actually the best person to have as a president because he was so candid and a real person. Just like me, I'm a real person, but thousands of people watched, read what was written about me in the New York Times, in the Canadian press. I think I was on the BBC, Fox, all of these things. People listened because I'm not out for any agenda. I live in a small cabin and I'm perfectly happy this living this way because I can't stand the uncivil cities. You guys lie to each other every day, every day. Just buying your coffee, you're lying to each other sometimes. It's so crazy. It's
Yeah.
just insane to me. It drives me insane. I used to work for the government. I was a teacher. I was I've written manuals. I worked at the War Museum. Like I worked at Parliament Hill. You know, I'm not an insane person. I'm a rational human being that's being treated like I'm insane. And this is the problem. And people really, I know the term wake up is overused, but darn, wake up, people. Peace. There's
So,
so much better, there's so much better way.
yeah. Oh, I couldn't agree more. And but I just want to rewind for a second there because I found something you said very interesting. You said that so this is just the beginning and this is actually good because they are exposed. Now I assume you mean the government, but do you think that Justin Trudeau is going to see any sort of negative consequence from these actions?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not just the government that has been exposed. It is the government, the private corporations, the doctors, the lawyers, the the city council members, the board members of the Ottawa Police. There are so many that are being exposed on, and many of them did what they did out of ego, their own their own purpose. They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to lose their, so they know that the government is going to win in the end. That's
Right.
what they think. So they have a duty to follow everything that the government is saying because it's their own money that they're worried about. There's a post I did a little while ago on my Facebook, and it in the I'm it's my vision blurred up in the background, and it says sensitive content, and it talks about the failure of the capitalist system. Uh, Money is more important now because food, shelter, and water are the most important things that a human needs. And you can't get any of it without money now.
Yeah.
How does that make sense? Is that right? No, we've gone overboard. Just as there was lines that were crossed by our government on the reaction to peaceful people, they've gone overboard on this capitalist system and the way that the prices are. Something that was $7 in 1973 is now $36. You know, and that's only for average products. There's other products that the prices are exponential, and once we hit this exponential rising, it's a failed system. Okay, we can't be giving a $500 million to another country to fund their war when we're in debt.
Yeah.
Okay, uh, those people have been in war for 1,000 years. Our $500 million and our face masks and stuff that we were sending over, Mr. JT. Oh my God, you make me sick. All that stuff, we don't want to pay for that. You don't speak for us. We're not into funding wars there, sir. And you say it's a loan. When is that country ever going to have enough money to pay back that loan? Come on now.
Never.
Shake your head. Shake your head. You've never ran a business in your life. You're a failed teacher.
Yeah, there was a lot of things that I was told at the convoy about exactly why he was a failed teacher, and I don't even think I can say it here on YouTube, but it's just crazy.
No, don't get into it.
Don't get into it. Yeah, no, don't go down the rabbit hole. I know, but it's just illuminating a lot of the things that when you actually look for it, you can find answers, and sometimes you don't want to know. You hear it, and then you're like, oh God. Why did I hear that? I didn't want to know that at all, sort of thing. But I was interviewing a man yesterday. I'm not sure if you saw it, but he said something very interesting, that if Trump was still president down south, he does not believe the convoy would have ended in the way that it did. In that, I think the implication there was that Trudeau would have been, I guess, intimidated by Trump's
pressured into it. Absolutely. Yeah. He would have been pressured, because once the states did it, which I believe Trump would have pressured him into communicating with the people, so many other countries would have followed suit and condemned him before he was able to come in and use the violence. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And see this button here is a Church of Bubbles button. Oh, where is it? This side. Church of Bubbles. Jim Kerr, love you, man. He filmed a lot of stuff like my arrest.
Oh, wow.
He was up there. He was on top of Live from the Shed with me as the police were advancing, and we were both recording. And then I put my recording away because I seen he has it, and I stood in peace. And he actually just escaped off the back. You can see him crawling over top of the thing, and he gets out of there, and the cops come up, or these army dudes, not even cops. These guys were army. And they came in, and I just kept looking straight in the peace sign on top, and they came up. And they said, am I going to have to put handcuffs on you, or are you going to, well, after holding me for a couple minutes at the top, okay, and they put my arms behind my back, and I have 2 dislocated shoulders. This one's worse than the other one. And when they put it behind my back, I asked them, I said, oh, I can't do that, man. I can't do that. And I got to put it in the front. I have dislocated shoulders. I wear a brace. Okay, I can show you my brace over there. Anyways, it really hurt, and they kept me like that for 2 hours.
Holy.
Yeah, and they're still burning more than they usually do right now. But I haven't been able to see a doctor or anything, because when I bring you outside, you'll see there's nothing here. There's a mountain and an island. And that's it.
Wow. I love that. So, oh my gosh. So, run me through exactly what was going through your mind as you saw the wall advancing there. Did you have, and I think I know the answer to this, but did you have any inclination of maybe I should get out of here, maybe I should avoid this, or was it I'm going to stick here till the very end?
As they started advancing, actually starting at 8:20 in the morning, this family had just come. They wanted to meet me and give me coffee in the morning. and they just arrived in Ottawa. They just got there, and I was out. I just woke up in the shed, and I was stretching outside, and they were like, "Do you want coffee?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'd love one." And it's okay, we'll be right back. And they go and they get coffee, and then I look over and I see this wall of cops just starting to get to the front line on the other side. And so I go up on the shed, and I had a New York Times reporter standing with me. I invited him up with me because he's the one that took that picture of me on the New York Times. I wish I had his name right now, but I don't. Anyways, we met up several times throughout this convoy thing, and he took many pictures of me. And I said, "Well, come on up." And I said, "It's at your own risk, though, because I don't know what these guys are going to do." And he was like, "Yeah, okay." So he stayed, and we started watching these cops just brutalize people, just pushing them back and pulling them out of things and smashing windows. He's got a picture of the cop just. There was no reason to smash the window. The door was unlocked. The window was partially open. There was nobody in the truck. There was no reason. But
And
he
he just
just walked
smashed
right
it.
up. He smashed it and kept walking. It was the people behind him that came in and cleared the truck or whatever. But anyways, it was just egregious. Um,
Wow.
so then they started coming, and when they got to the front of the stage, I looked over at Brett. Brett is his name. I looked over at Brett and I said, "Dude, I don't want you to get arrested. Just go." He says, "I've been arrested before," but he said, he said, "Dana Lee, it's an honor and a pleasure to meet you." And he said something else I can't remember. And then he just barely escaped with Jim Kerr had just come up as well. And then they both took off together. And I just stood in peace because I never broke a law. Never broke a law. That's all I did for 25 days was stand in peace. I had coffee with the freaking PPC, that's the parliamentary security.
Yeah.
I had coffee with them almost every morning for the first 15 days, and we'd discuss stuff. And one of those PPCs even said to me, if we weren't in uniform, and he points at me and him, he said, and on the other side of this fence, we'd be having coffee. And I said, yeah. He said, you guys have been no problem, not no problems here. But then 2 days later, he's got the whole freaking place fenced in. So,
Wow.
uh, there was a lot of people doing things that they did not want to.
Oh,
That's the whole
absolutely.
point. And this is called coercion. Okay. Just the way people have been coerced to follow these regulations and to get your second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever jabs of unknown stuff. Uh, you know, I haven't heard back from my access to information request. I did an access to information request on the legality of the first two mandates that set precedent for all the rest. And I went through a little legal battle with them because they put it on an extension. Then I had the extension removed, and now they have it on hold. But they were supposed to answer me February 28th, and it's now March 2nd or 3rd.
Wow.
So
So
that's
delay.
against the act itself. That's called delay, unnecessary delay. They haven't reached out or anything because I think I
Interesting.
caught them. I think I caught them. I don't think they expected that.
No, I don't think so either. And one interesting observation I made while I was there at the last stand on February 19th is almost every single officer there was either 35 or below. Like, just from looking at their faces, I could tell this. There was maybe like one guy that was older than that, visibly. And I think that says a lot, because a lot of the older staff walked off or straight up said no, that they're not going to do this. And it plays to your point that a lot of the people were doing things that they didn't want to do. So would you say that the vast majority, pardon, go ahead, Dana?
Also, three of the board members of the Ottawa board resigned their position too. You know, like
Wow.
because they didn't want to follow those what was happening. So anyway, that's a very good point. Yeah.
So, because it's interesting that you mentioned that some of the police were like smashing the windows and being just generally harsh. So, what percentage, if you had to give a rough estimate, would you say of the police that did not want to be there?
Oh, uh, you know, from what I seen, I tried to stay out of the faces of cops. I don't like them personally. Uh, I've never done any illegal thing, but I'll tell you, I had to write a letter to British Columbia RCMP because I got pulled over 100 times in 1 year in my car because I owned a limousine. And but it was a private car. It wasn't for rent or anything. It was just my car.
You owned a
So
limo.
yeah, I drove across Canada in it. I did the whole I did the whole country in the limousine. That's a whole other story, dude.
Oh my God, that's legendary.
So actually, here, you want to see a picture of it?
Yeah.
It's up on my wall. Okay, that's me and my buddies. Mine's the first one.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways, that's me and him sitting in Ottawa on Smythe Street. Uh, okay, put that up later. And I gotta put a log on the fire. It's getting chilly.
Yeah, I noticed that it's not burning as hot as it was before. I think the question on everyone's mind right now is, why on earth did you pick to drive a limousine out of all things across the country, Dana?
It's a whole other story, dude.
That's a whole other story.
I've done a
Oh.
lot of things that have been remarkable, actually. But there's a lot of. It's all documented. It's I have over, I think, 5.5 million views on Google Maps.
What?
Yeah, yeah. I'm called the Canadian Traveler.
5.5 million views on Google Maps. The Canadian Traveler.
Yes.
Pretty interesting. So,
Go
and it has
look it
all your
up.
story there.
It has some of it, yeah. And that's not the limo portion of it, mostly.
Okay.
Uh, but that's some other travels that I did. I've traveled back and forth across the country. I'm a I think my camera is over here somewhere. Where is it? Oh, there. See that? That camera right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my nature camera.
Your nature camera. Wow. Whoa.
Yeah.
You
So
can see the moon through that thing. It's like a telescope.
Actually, the moon pictures are on my Facebook.
Of course, you have those too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I find it very relaxing, and I've done a lot of pictures. Those calendars that you buy in the malls at Christmas time. There, you
Yeah.
see those calendar places. Well, I did thousands of pictures for them. I did pictures for PA
Wow.
National Park of black bears. Um, yeah, just I spent a lot of time alone in the bush taking pictures of animals. I never took pictures of humans until I met this beautiful lady that was a musician, and she became my subject for several years as we had a wonderful time. She has since passed away, uh,
Whoa.
but yeah,
Wow.
uh, yeah, she was extremely healthy, and we were very close. And just all of a sudden, one day they said, "You have a year to live," and she did only live exactly a year to that date. So that
So,
happened to me and to her, and to a lot of people because she was loved by many.
wow. I'm kind of speechless, Dana. I'm sorry to hear that, but if you don't mind me asking, what exactly was the reason or the cause?
Cancer.
Damn.
I don't want to demonetize you, so I won't say the cancer.
Yeah. That's that's
And I
rough.
lost
It just
my best friend that I lived with for 32 years, pretty much, most of the time, except for when we moved around. But he died in 2 days. I was at another friend of mine's funeral. I got a call from Ian, and he said, "I'm not feeling well. I'm going to the hospital." I got home the next morning. I went to the hospital. He seemed okay. Uh, but the next day, when I went back in the morning, he was not good. He had 5 cardiac arrests over the night and stuff. And they cleared out the room, and I held his hand until his last breath.
my gosh. That's an
And
undescribable experience. Wow.
I wear both of them, Ian and Donna, right here. They're ashes from Ian, and this was a very special necklace Donna gave me. Anyways,
Wow.
it was a that was a hard year in during COVID time here. They almost didn't let me in to see my buddy, and I was going in anyway. I was going in anyway, and I think they felt that. So uh,
Yeah. Wow.
yeah.
Man, I'm sorry to hear that. That sounds like a very, very rough time. And I'm sure that's part of the reason why you were down in Ottawa fighting for freedom. I mean,
Yeah, and just from what I've seen in my own reality, not what you see on TV or anything else, all these different things about the way my father was treated, the way Ian was treated as he was dying, like um, all these things, and the way that the poor were being treated in Saskatoon, because I lived in Saskatoon at the beginning of COVID. And when Ian passed away, I decided to move back here. So I've been here a year and 3 months or something. But I helped my uncles hand built this cottage, me and them. I did the electrical. When 30 years ago, I built this little cottage, and I never thought I'd be living in it. But that's what's happening right now. and
Oh,
hopefully I'll build my house up on the mountain. I'm going to go show you where the mountain is before we end this.
perfect.
Okay, that was okay. I just got to get some boots on with some garb.
How you doing for battery, Dana?
Oh, fantastic! The Note
Fantastic.
Z, the Samsung Z Fold 3, fantastic phone, like amazing. It's a phablet. It's a phone and a tablet. It folds out. It's absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Okay. Oh, matching hat with my coat, always. You know,
Absolutely. Can't go without that.
you got to have the garb. And this is my hometown, Griffith, Ontario.
Okay.
Uh, this is just my mud room, I guess you call it. Oh, here, I'll turn the cam. Can I turn this camera around? Oh, no,
Of
eh? Okay.
course.
I don't want to screw up your thing, so I'm just going to do this. This is out my front door.
Oh my gosh. That
That's my
scenery.
wood. That's my woodshed, and
Okay.
then there's the mountain. I have a road that goes up there,
Okay.
and it's pretty nice up there. The camera really doesn't do it justice, but
Definitely not. Oh my goodness.
and then I'll just take a little walk here. Oh, I'm going to show you the island. Oh wait, I wonder if I'll still stay connected here. Oh, I've still got 4 bars. Should be
Oh
good.
yeah, you're totally good.
Mhm. Oh, just went down. As soon as I hit this area. Oh no, we're still good.
We're still good. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. That's an island.
Oh,
The snow is going to be too deep for me to go over there, but this is my little place.
that is wild.
Yeah, not much to it. I mean, it's the side of a mountain.
That's the definition of minimalism, man. I love it.
As long as you got lots of wood, you're okay.
Absolutely. Don't run out though.
No, you don't want to be running out of wood and cutting it in the winter. It's not healthy. It's not healthy. Yeah. So, um, and it's a little bit more snow here than usual. This year we've got at least twice as much snow as last year. Oh yeah.
Twice. Wow. That's a lot.
And over here, That's my outhouse over there. That's the
Perfect.
comfort. We call it the comfort station.
The comfort station. There you go. Does it have a styrofoam seat on it just to like avoid chilling the bottom?
No, but it's a double seater. There's two seats in there,
Damn.
just in case. Okay, it's much warmer in here. Whew.
I imagine so. So Dana, everyone's curious. What is the next step for you? What are you gonna do from here on out?
Well, depending on funds, things are being planned. Things are being planned, and I can't allude to them just yet, but they're big, and it's
Okay.
Canada wide. And but right now, I am looking to try to raise some money for my legal bills because I'm in the middle of another legal battle right now, so I don't have any money right now, like liquid money, to pay for these things. So the lawyers are going to try to do a funding thing for me to pay for my legal bills. So when I do that, I get, instead of just sending me money or something, I'm going to post on my Facebook when they get the site built for just paying for legal bills for some of these truck drivers and myself. We're all together, and we're all under the same lawyers. So not all of us are under the same lawyers, but a group of us are under the same lawyers. But it's not free to defend your innocence.
Yeah.
So if you keep a lookout for that, that should be very, very soon, and I'll put the link up. And if you want to help, it's muchly appreciated.
Yeah, absolutely.
But other things,
yeah,
other things will be happening too, and that should be around April 1st.
Okay.
So
April
it's not
Fool's.
far off, or April 2nd,
Okay.
let's say.
Okay.
It's not far off. It's not far off, but I've agreed to take part because I don't think we're done yet. That was just the beginning. Now we're going to show how they used their power incorrectly, and keep showing the world how to do it peacefully.
Yeah, that's an absolutely amazing.
There is no violence here in Canada. There is no you get the odd psychopath here and there, but
Yeah.
there is no mass violence here. There was nothing wrong with what we did downtown. Now some Canadians got a little rambunctious and drinking and partying and stuff, but you know what? That's all peaceful. That's all peaceful play. That's all these people that live in the core of Ottawa that pay $4.5 million, I do believe it is, for Mr. Watson's condo, and uh, you know, this pandemic and what the government has been doing has not affected you, sir, Mr. Watson. This is not about you. It's not about your city, my city. It's about the people of the world. And that's what we were there for. You took the focus off of that by making it about yourselves, you selfish people.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say to his face, and I really hope I'm going to tag him in this video.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Dana, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but if you do have a link to PayPal or anything that you want me to link in the description, just send that over Facebook, and I definitely will do that. But what would be a closing message that you would have to everybody watching today?
Keep the support alive. Do what you can. Show up to your different, because there is no major group running this movement in Canada. It's still a movement, and it's because of all of you. It's because of the people that are still supporting, the people that are watching, the people that want to get involved. Everything now is about communication. We have to. When COVID started, we were told not to communicate. You know, like don't do this, don't do that, and you can't talk about this and that and this and that. That's a bunch of BS. We can talk about anything we want, okay? Because we are free people. We have free thought. And if that thought is done civilly, in a civil manner, I see a lot of people that are on one side of the fence and a lot of people on the other side of the fence. Well, as long as you talk civilly to each other, then you'll always reach a common ground. If you keep it peaceful instead of arguing and being children, then it remains peaceful. It gets resolved. These unconstitutional and things that our government is doing, they are not going to get away with it because there are much smarter people than the people that get elected. People that get elected don't train to do their jobs. Okay, they don't go to school to become prime minister. They don't go to school to become these elected officials.
Right.
But I'll tell you, a lot of these people, these regular people, we're smart as hell. Okay, we were trained to look into things, to question. When before the internet was created, Ian and I owned a bulletin board system. Okay, and that's when one computer would call the other on a phone line. Okay, and this I don't know whether the tech that we're using right now, I feel that the government is using all of this tech against us, and we need to start using these huge tools that you carry in your pockets, just like you are, YouTubing this stuff and making real content, not this fake content that these others create. Okay, so we need real content on the ground boots. So support is number one. We can't continue fighting if there is no support. If people don't believe in it, then we can't continue to fight for it. And they have a lot of resources and a lot of money and a lot of power to be able to abuse the system. We can't do any of that. We have to use the system that is in place. They've abused it. We're going to use it to prove that they abused it. Okay?
Absolutely.
So it's a good thing that they abused it because they showed their face. JT showed what he is willing to do. Imagine if it wasn't bouncy castles. Imagine if we did pick up sticks. We'd be shot on sight. We'd be shot on sight. Pick up a stone or a stick, and that's how it starts. That's how weapons start.
For sure.
So you just don't do that. Be peaceful. Always be peaceful. Try not to argue, but try to talk civilly to each other online. Stop the childish stuff like, oh my God, you're 32 living in your mother's basement. Why are you commenting on Ukraine? You know, like, um, you know, real stuff around you. Work with what's around you. You see bad, you point it out. You see something, say something. You see your prime minister calling you a misogynist and a racist and everything, you say something. You can't just say, oh yeah, he does this, he does this. Did you write? Did you write him? Because I did. I tag him and I tag CSIS all the time with the same message every time for 2 years now. The same message is, lest we forget, foreign or domestic, Mr. Trudeau and CSIS. I have written that at least a couple hundred times on his posts. Okay. Yes, I watch every one of my prime minister's posts, whether I like them or not. That is what civility is. You have to be able to view both CBC and independent media. Because if you don't watch what they're doing or what other people are watching, you know, a lot of the elderly watch only CBC and CTV. They think we're a bunch of hoodlums that went down there.
Very sad. Very sad indeed.
So that's what I'm saying, is just peace and actually do things. Don't just sit there and be a keyboard warrior.
I love that.
Go out and do things. Write your government, write your city council, and because you may not think it matters and they won't do anything, they won't even read it, doesn't matter. They have to save it, and it will come in very, very important in the future. But if nobody writes in, that they'll be using that against you. Well, look, nobody told us that it was wrong. Nobody disagreed with us. They will absolutely use anything that's not even there against you.
Right.
So if you don't write in, it's not there. Do some access to information requests. Make them work for their money, because they're not right now. They're just no government employee has lost a cent in 2 years. Unless you didn't get vaccinated. So through the coercion and stuff like that.
Good point.
You know, so none of them have lost a cent. I did. I'm a government employee to this day right now. I'm not getting paid. They even cut off my health care. So the only option is civil suit, which is 2 years in now. Could go another 2 years before I get anything to get back to a life that I deserve. I worked for the government. I worked for many, many industries, and I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted at the corruption in Canada within the government, the corporations. The corporations that are supposed to protect us, like CPSS or the Ombudsman of Ontario or Saskatchewan, or PIDC, which is the public interest coordinator. So if there's like they're all so corrupt. It's amazing, and I have proof of all of it. But who do you go to when the entire system it's systematic? When the entire system is corrupt, where do you go to? You don't. You start fading away. You start dying off, and they don't have to worry about you anymore.
Right.
So my resolve is a little bit better than that. I've gone through some really personal hard times with zero help because I won't take a shot or I don't. I stood up to the company that I work against. You know, when you see your company putting up signs saying no bullying and stuff like that, but the company is actually doing the bullying, do you just shut your mouth because you need your paycheck, or do you actually open your mouth? Well, I opened my mouth. I became a whistleblower and I wrote large documents about it, showing the proof, and they ignored it. So it doesn't matter if nobody reads it or anything. In the future, it all becomes relevant only if you write in, only if you question. If nobody questions, it just keeps going on and gets worse. So that's my end.
Well, that's a great message, Dana, because I've heard a lot of speeches about that at the convoy that, you got to start doing stuff because then, it'll get the ball rolling. Other people will be like, oh, yeah, you know what? That's true. I should start going into stores without a mask. I should start, questioning things. I should start waking up and paying more attention to what's going on. So I think that's a great way to end this stream. And Dan, I heard there's a lot of people in the chat here that want to know how to find you. So is it all right with you if I link your Facebook in the description?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Perfect. Awesome.
Hey, I wouldn't mind some more views on Google Maps, the Canadian Traveler. You'll see a
Yeah.
picture of
Okay.
me.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll see if I can link that as well. All right. Okay. Well, awesome.
Yeah, get me up to 10 million. Get me up to 10 million views.
10 million. You want to go from 5.5 to 10 million? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You got some big goals, Dana.
Wow. I don't do anything. Anyways, peace, everybody. Oh, I'll do it over here.
Yep, absolutely.
Peace.
All right.
I love you all. I love Canada. I love the world. And peace and love is how we're going to beat them. Our weapons are stronger.
That's absolutely right. Okay. All right, Dana, I really appreciate your time here. It was absolutely, it's just crazy that we talked for an hour and a half. Just shows that time flies when you're having fun.
I was going to say to you, why don't you pick out some questions from the audience there? But yeah, it's been an hour and a half, and I'm on satellite internet, so this might eat it up.
Probably. Oh man. Okay. Well, I think
next time.
Dana, if you want to, go live at any time, or you want me to promote any of the stuff, any of the future plans, and because I know you are withholding some of that as of right now. So if you, in the next couple of months, you said sometime in the beginning of April. So if you want to, to get on here again and promote that, by all means, just send me a message and we'll set something up.
Absolutely. Maybe do some, we'll get you in on some of those live from the sheds.
Yeah, I'd love that. Yeah.
Cool, man. Okay, have a great day.
Okay, you too. Thanks, Danny. I appreciate it. Bye for now. Okay, guys. So that was Dana Lee. Unbelievable. The guy's an absolute legend. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of a brief break, maybe half an hour or so. Steven Seagal, Fat Steven Seagal is coming on at 3 p.m. So I'm going to do I'm going to take some questions from the viewers here. Once I start back up, maybe around 2 p.m., let's say, for about an hour. And then once Fat Steven Seagal comes on, I will interview him next. All right, guys, I will see you soon. And thanks again to Dana for coming on. I appreciate him more than I could ever express in words. All right, guys, I will see you soon.